Hey guys, Soulless here, and today I kind of wanted to do a different video. I kind of wanted to do I wanted to start doing some sort of discussion videos every once in a while. So that's what we're gonna do today. To kind of go over this NES Online app and just what it is and everything about it. So we just recently got another update with these random games like City Connection, which I can't say I've ever played prior to this, and I really don't know what the heck's going on with it necessarily. Oh, I died. Yeah, but when you just look through these games, you get that, what was it, Double Dragon 2, which I guess is a better game, but it's still not great. And then we got Volleyball, which is a pretty crappy game, if you look at it honestly. And sorry to all the NES Volleyball fans out there. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just an old NES game. And the controls are kind of wonky. You don't quite understand what's going on. Double Dragon 2, like I said, it's a little bit better, but it's still not great. So, I guess... Oh, wait, there was one more thing I think added. It was Twinbee Special, I think. Maybe it was Blaster... No, it was Twinbee. And it just starts you off, on the 6th level or something like that. Yeah, you start on stage 6, where the second round of the game begins. Yeah. And I guess that one's not too bad, but still, this kind of goes on to what I was going to say about this service. Is overall, I feel like the novelty of having these NES games is nice. It's not a bad thing to have all of these games. There's the classic Legend of Zelda on here, Zelda 2, the Mario games, they're all pretty good. And you get down into here, and I'm sure that some people like these games, but I don't know, NES Soccer, NES Volleyball, they just aren't that great. And I think at E3, that was a big disappointment to not see any news on anything great coming for the online service right now. Obviously, we have games like Mario Maker, and in that, you have to kind of have the online, and pretty much just an online game. And then there's Animal Crossing, you'll be able to play with your friends up to 8 online. What else did we get? And then Pokemon, I guess. There might be a couple that I'm missing there, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Overall, like I said, it is kind of boring in a way, and there's just so many games I feel like they're missing out on. It's not only are we missing, everybody wants SNES games, but my problem is that I think they're gonna wait to introduce the SNES games until the service is a year old, so that way they can charge you to, redo your membership or whatever, re-sign up. And so I don't think that they're going to introduce SNES games until the end of September, which is okay, but I feel like there's just so many games they've missed out on this NES service, like the original Dragon Quest, all the way 1 through 3, really. Same thing with the Final Fantasy games. I believe 1 through 3 was on the NES. So it's just kind of annoying to see so many games get skipped over, especially those are third party, and there's third parties on this service anyway, but I get not having all the third parties. But I think the biggest problem is it's not that we're missing out on a bunch of third parties, we're also missing out on a couple games, just like Earthbound Zero, or Earthbound Beginnings, or whatever you want to call it, depends on who you are or what you call it. We're also just missing out on, I think, in my opinion, they should have done Game Boy games. That would have been a great like 6 months in, 8 months in, or just like an E3 kind of thing to drop in. There's so many games I feel like they're missing. Like they're missing out on it rather. And so like you could add the I know you wouldn't want to add like Link's Awakening necessarily since that's coming out with a remake. But there are some games that they could be adding, like Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2. Then you have Wario Land. What else is there? There's the Kirby's Dream Land, Kirby's Dream Land 2. There's Kirby's Dream Land Pinball. The Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. You could do also just green on the service. There's just so many different games that I felt like would have made people a whole lot more happy with this service, at least for like a short period of time to hold us over until the SNES comes out, because like they just keep releasing kind of blah games, I guess. And like Fire Emblem and Sukapon, those games are interesting enough, but they were only released in Japan, which I get if there's not like an English translation, but that just begs the question, why not? I mean, there's a bunch of fan translations out there. I'm sure they would let you use it, and all you had to do is proofread through the files and make sure that the fans aren't putting profanities or anything like that in there, and then you could release it on the Surface. I mean, I don't think it's out of the question to do that, and I don't know why Nintendo didn't decide to do something like that, because it is kind of disappointing seeing just lackluster games join the service, and then we have months where we only have 2 games. And then even like what I'm playing right now, wrong button, is this special version of The Legend of Zelda. Sorry, that was my cat. Anyway, and they have these other special versions coming out. But they're not really all too special necessarily. I kind of like the idea of one of the Metroids, I believe, gives you all of the power-ups. You get something similar with The Legend of Zelda, where you get all of the overworld items. The Legend of Zelda 2, you get all of the magic, and your magic and health bars are maximized, which I think will really help with new people to this game. But I just feel like there's so many other things they could be doing with these special versions, like kind of ROM hacks. And so yeah, I just want to see some sort of improvements on that, and that's just my biggest problem is we haven't gotten Game Boy. I know they're waiting for SNES until September. I think it's September is when it came out initially, so that'd be a year, yeah. But anyway, I would like to see some sort of improvement. Just, you know, I mean, like, this is kind of cool to have beginners be able to know a little bit more about Zelda 2 and try it out and whatnot. But it's still, like, there's just so many other games that you could be adding to the service. Both third-party NES games and just Game Boy, regular Game Boy games. And if they added the Game Boy games, then they could start adding SNES in September. And then about 6 months after that, they could add Game Boy Colors. And then you get Pokemon Gold, Crystal, you know, just games like that that a lot of people really enjoy, especially if they're not going to redo the Oracle games, like the Link's Awakening is. You could release those on the Game Boy Color versions. It's just I really wish that they would do something like that to improve the service, because it has a lot of potential, and I don't mind it replacing the Virtual Console. I know a lot of people maybe have a problem with that, but as long as they add those games to the service, then it's fine. But it just seems like you're only getting 3 a month, 2 sometimes, 1 special version only, and they're really not that special. They're just a save state, which is fine. Again, I kind of like the idea of having some save states so you could try the end of a game without having to complete it. But they don't even do that for like the ones you'd want that for, like Mario or Mario 3. They do have like the Kirby where you beat it and get the sound test, but I pushed the wrong button again. But even if you go to it, like, it just starts you off in the beginning of the game then. Like, I guess you can hit continue, but I don't know, it just is very annoying in a sense to see just a lackluster online. When they could do so much more to it to improve it, and it just adds so many more things to it. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on the NES Online. I'm probably gonna start going over these games every month. Like I said, I do enjoy the novelty of it. It's just the execution I feel like is poor. Special versions, they could do better on them. At the very least, release multiple special versions. Just look at Metroid, you have 2 different special versions. You could do that for The Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2. You could do it for the Mario games. And then they could have just added Game Boy games to tie us over until the SNES games come in September, presumably. So just let me know down below what you guys think. What's your thoughts on the service? What would you like to see improved? This is mainly just me going over the NES Online, not necessarily Nintendo Switch Online as a whole. If you want to see me talk about that, hear my thoughts about that, just let me know, give the video a like, and then I'll be able to do that. Until then, thank you so much for watching. I'm Soulless, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.